Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Coding with Culp. Today is a great day to learn how to code. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at the Elegoo Arduino Uno starter kit. It's a really cool starter kit from a company called Elegoo. Includes an Arduino Uno and everything you need to get started. A ton of sensors, ton of add-ons, really incredible value. After that, we're going to set it up, we're going to install the Arduino software, and we're going to write our first sketch. So without any further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get started and let's unbox this thing. Okay, let's unbox this. This is the Super Starter Kit Uno R3 from Elegoo.com. I bought it on Amazon. I think it was $38, $39, somewhere around in there. This thing comes packed with a ton of stuff for $38, $40, whatever it was. I mean, just absolutely amazing. If you'd like to buy one, I've got links for it down below in the description. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so I get like 50 cents or something, $1 if you click through and buy it, but it helps the channel out. I can buy better equipment, buy better software. So you can see there's quite a bit of stuff here. Big, thick plastic box. Actually got quite a bit of heft to it also. Alright, let's open it up. Okay, so let's see. We got a little thank you card, a CD. I think it comes with PDF files, probably project files, and code libraries for all the sensors and stuff that's down here. All right, here's the actual Uno, Arduino Uno. Let's open it up. So there we go. Looks like we've got a little kind of miniature breadboard here. It's got pins. It looks like it, yeah, it's like a shield. It's got a couple of buttons on it. I think it's got a couple LEDs and a little miniature breadboard. Breadboard has a sticky back. You can peel it off and stick it on here. Let's see here. We've got a little package of parts. Looks like it's got some transistors, a couple capacitors, a little beeper, a couple integrated circuits. I'm not sure what those are. I know this kit comes with a shift register, an 8-bit shift register, so that's probably one of them. And it comes with a quad H-bridge motor driver for driving motors. That's what those two ICs most likely are. 9-volt battery for powering things. Oh wow, ton of LEDs, different color LEDs. Let's see, it looks like we got some push buttons. I see some photo resistors in there. Couple of diodes. Looks like an SRF04 ultrasonic sensor, so we can get distance readings. These are awesome to put on robots. In fact, that's what I plan on doing through part of this series, is building small mobile robots. Little DC motor. A servo motor. Whoa. Drop this, it's a potentiometer. So this right here, power adapter, plugs into a breadboard, and then you can plug in either a power adapter or USB, and it outputs power onto the breadboard. A 1602 LCD, so we can print. A bipolar, let me make sure. Yeah, stepper motor driver. We're driving stepper motors, and in fact right here is the stepper motor. Let's see, your jumper wires, whole bunch of jumper wires, different colors, different lengths. A fan, I assume that snaps onto the DC motor. This right here is a joystick and we got the joystick top goes right there. Well, I can't fit it on here. There we go. There we go. USB cable. One thing I don't like about this USB cable is it's kind of short. I bought a 6-foot cable from Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description for it, but you can see it's kind of a short cable, but for most people it's probably all you need. A remote control, a battery harness with a barrel jack end, lots of resistors. I mean, lots of resistors of probably different types. Oh, here we go. So these jumper wires right here are male to male. So both ends are male ends. These are male to female jumper wires. Oh, good. We got an actual larger size breadboard. I was a little worried that the little miniature one was the only breadboard that we had. This one's large size. Let's see what we got. Oh, cool. We've got some little digit displays. So, let's see here. This is a 4-digit 7-segment display, and then a single digit 7-segment display. Let's see, we got some sensors down here. Not sure what we've got. Oh, we got a relay. It's probably a 5-volt relay. Then let's see here. What have we got right here? What is this? Infrared sensor for reading the infrared remote control. And then finally, I believe this is a temperature and humidity sensor. And then here, provided I can see if I can get this card out. It's not taped in. It's got everything that it comes with. Quite a bit of stuff. I'm just absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of stuff this kit comes with for $38.99, $39, something like that. Like I said, I've got a link down below where you can purchase one from Amazon. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take the Uno, and this is all we're going to need for the next part. We're going to install the software, we're going to install the Arduino software, and we're going to write a little Arduino program. It's going to flash an onboard LED. All you're going to need is the Uno and then the USB cable. This end plugs in right there. A little tight, there we go. And then this end is going to plug into your computer. So let's go over to the computer, let's install the Arduino software, and then let's go ahead and write our first Arduino sketch. That's what they call it on Arduino, is a sketch. Okay. You should have your Arduino unpacked and ready to go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the Arduino software. So what you have to do is you have to go to arduino.cc. You're going to come over here, click on software, or actually just hover over software, you don't have to click on it, and then click on downloads. We don't want the Arduino web editor. We want to scroll down. We want the actual download the Arduino IDE. We want the Windows installer for Windows 7 and up if you're on Windows. If you're on Mac, you can choose this. Now for Linux, if you're on a Linux system, for example, Raspberry Pi, an Ubuntu system, you can simply open up a terminal window, and although it's not the same, I can simulate it here. So this doesn't work on Windows, but if you're on a Linux system such as a Raspberry Pi or an Ubuntu system, you can just type in sudo apt-get install Arduino, and that should install the Arduino IDE for you. So you don't have to even go to the website. That only works, once again, not on Windows. So go ahead, click on whichever system you're installing on. I'm going to click on Windows Installer for Windows 7 and up. It's going to ask if you want to contribute to the Arduino Foundation. So you can contribute and download or just download. For today, I'm just going to choose just download. It's going to take a few minutes to install. And by the way, don't have your board plugged in yet. Don't have your board plugged in yet. I had mine plugged in, but that's just because I've got the software already installed. All right, it's finished. So whatever browser you're using, it's going to be slightly different as to how you're going to start the installation process. I am using Chrome, so I just had to click down here and it started. All right, so I actually already have it installed. It said must be uninstalled before you install this version. This won't affect sketches or libraries. Click OK to install. I'm going to go ahead and do that just to lead you through the process. So it's going to take a moment to uninstall, and then we will install it just so you can see going through everything. Okay. So this is what you'll see when you first install it. You got to agree to the license agreement. I'm going to click I agree. Go ahead and install everything. You especially make sure that the install USB driver is clicked. And click install. Take a moment to install, and then we'll be ready to go. Once it's all done, you can plug in your Arduino board, but don't do it before then. Almost. And of course we're gonna stall out here. Almost done. It's like the last 10% takes 90% of the time. All right, slowly but surely, chugging away, slowly but surely. All right, there we go. So we're finished. We're just gonna click close right here. And hey, I gotta order supplies for my printer. Oh, come on. Cut it out. Turn off all notifications. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to start up Arduino. I'm going to click on my start menu. And right there it is, Arduino. You can also just type in down here, Arduino. And it should pop up. So I'm going to start it up. Okay. It gives us, actually, I'm going to say File, New. What you're going to do is you're going to click on File, New. And so now yours should look like this. I had already written a script or a sketch. Okay, you can now plug in your Arduino. So you're just going to take this in, plug it into the Arduino. Should hear it connect. And you should have it plugged into the other end into your computer, into the USB port on your computer. All right, a couple things we have to do. Number one, let's come here to Tools. Come down here to Board and make certain that Arduino Uno is clicked or selected, because that's the board that we have. Then you're going to want to change your COM port. So you're just going to click on Port and come and select whatever it's connected to. It should automatically find it. Now we're ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're just simply going to flash the onboard LED. It's a pretty simple project. Doesn't require any knowledge of electronics. We don't have to break out a breadboard or any resistors or LEDs or anything else. I got way too many wires here. Everything's all tangled up. Okay. So the way an Arduino sketch works, we've got a setup area which gets run one time. So when we click run, that setup area gets run one single time. And we're going to put anything that we need to set up basically here that we need to have run once. And in fact, there is something we need to have run once on here. We need to set up the pin that controls the onboard LED. We do that with pin mode. Pin mode takes two parameters. Number one is the pin that we want to set. And in this case, it is LED underscore, I think it's built in. Yeah, there we go. So in this case, we want to set up the built-in LED as a special name. And we want to make it an output. A couple things to note here. Number one, super important, we ended the line with a semicolon. The Arduino language is very, very, very much like C. It's a very C-like language. And so we're going to end our statements with a semicolon. That's one of the single most common mistakes that people make, both experienced and inexperienced programmers, is they forget to end their statement lines with a semicolon. So pin mode will simply set this pin right here, the LED built-in pin, as an output. Some other options are input. For example, if we had a button attached, that would be an input. But we'll talk about all that stuff later on in different tutorials. For now, we just want to flash the onboard LED. Now this loop right here, this function right here, gets run right after setup. And loop does exactly what it says. It's just going to loop over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so what we want to do is we want to turn on the built-in LED, pause for just a brief period of time, and then turn it off. So there's a function called digital write. And we're going to write to the LED built-in pin. Oh, wow. There we go. It's really hard to type when I've got this microphone right in front of me and I'm trying to go around it. So I'm going to write all of the code and then explain it to you. Okay. So here's what this does. Remember, it's going to run over and over and over again. Digital write does exactly what it says. It writes to the pin. Okay, it writes to the pin that we have named. And in this case, it writes a high value or a high signal. You can essentially think of that as turning it on. It turns that pin on. In other words, it allows the voltage or current to flow through there. We delay for 100 microseconds. Okay, 100 microseconds, or in other words, 1/10 of a second. Delay all it does is pause right here. It doesn't stop anything on the Arduino. It just pauses here. The next thing we do is we use that digital write function again, and we write to that LED built-in pin, and we write a low value. In this case, it's going to turn the LED off, and we delay for 1/10 of a second again. Then it's going to go back up to the top. It's going to digital write, turn it on high, delay for 100 microseconds or 1/10 of a second. Then do the same thing, turn it on low and delay. And it's going to do that over and over and over again. Now to run it, all we're going to do is we're going to click upload. And we got to name it first. I'm going to name it flash underscore L LED. I'm going to put it on my desktop for now. That's a good spot for it for now. Now watch down here in the bottom. It tells us it uses 922 bytes, 2% of program storage. So in other words, it's pretty small. It tells us that global variables use 9 bytes and that it's done uploading. Now let's look at our onboard LED, and you should see it flashing right there. And it's flashing pretty quick. Now then, we can change our script or our sketch. For example, let's say we wanted to flash it for a second. So it's on for a second and off for a second. We can change that to 1,000. And let's upload it again. And there we go. You can now see it's flashing much slower. Okay, let's make it go a little bit faster. Or let's do this. Let's have it be on for a long period of time. No, let's make it be on for a short period of time. Oh, let's go with 50. And then off for a longer period of time. So there we go. You can see it flashes real brief, and then it's on for, or off for a lower amount of time. Let's make it off for a much longer time, like a whole second. So let's upload that. And you can see as it uploads, it flashes that LED. So let's see here. Yeah, you can see it flashes it real briefly and then it's off for a second. Okay, so that's it. We took a look at the Elegoo Uno kit. We then set up the software on the Raspberry Pi, and then we wrote our very first Arduino sketch, which just flashes the onboard LED. So from here on out, we're going to go into a whole bunch of tutorials. Flashing LEDs, basic electronics, learning about stuff like current, voltage, resistance, and doing a lot of stuff. I'd like to build up to building an actual small mobile robot with the Uno, and then using it in experiments such as line following, building little artificial intelligence bugs called Brightenberg vehicles, and doing all sorts of stuff. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Like the video. And today was a great day to learn how to code. So I thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.